Alrighty. Looks like we're live. Excellent. Woke up square on my face. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this video. Today is something I've been waiting for a couple of weeks. I've had this Delonghi Eletta Explore Superautomatic coffee and espresso machine, and we want to take a look at it because I know some people are asking about it, and I thought, why not open it up together? The special thing about this guy is that it does both warm drinks and cold drinks. Plus, you can fit like a travel mug in there. It does provide more height for larger drinks. So let's unbox this, talk about it, see what it's able to do, and just get a first impression about the machine. And before we get started, I did want to mention one other thing, and that is I did get this from Amazon warehouse deals. So by doing that, I got it for 22% less, and that's something I like to do whenever I can. I got, for example, my last two iPhones from Amazon warehouse deals for a good amount off, and they were like brand new. Now, this one, we'll just have to see what kind of condition that it's in. It does say when you buy something on the warehouse deals, if it's got any kind of blemishes or whatever, this is missing the handbook. I know that much, and it should have some blemishes, but I don't really mind. So let's just unbox it and see what's in there. It's a really big box. I'm not going to be able to unbox it up here, but just so you can get a view there, what it looks like from all sides. And of course, they tout in the market, you got to go, you got cold, and you got hot on there. Plus, they got favorites. So I know they got profiles on this machine, and it's the wireless type. There's a connect thing there, so you can connect with Bluetooth. Let's open it up. All right, so we first got some accessories. This is something kind of weird. It's not opened yet. This is an ice cube tray. So they give you an ice cube tray, I suppose, because this has the exact volume that they're going to suggest for drinks. Then we have got, I don't know, a couple cleaning tools, a scoop. Don't really care about that. Here we got a water. This is the water spout outlet. That's good for if you want to make tea or Americanos. So we'll keep that. Put that over there. Now, this isn't a completely spontaneous review. It's almost completely spontaneous. What I did do is I cleaned these containers ahead of time without looking at the rest, just so that we can get going with the video. So we got this container here, and this is the milk container. It's still got some drips in it from when I cleaned it. So this is the one. There's two of them. That's kind of strange. They got two of these containers. This bigger one with the black top is for hot drinks. And then there's a second one for cold drinks. Isn't that interesting? There you go. Here's the hot, here's the cold. And what I realized when cleaning these is that this is kind of what I'm used to. It's got that floppy rubber hose on there. The cold one has got a stiff hose. I don't know why that's got a stiff hose. Let's see. Mr. Burns' voice, yeah. I hope that the video and the audio is okay on this video. So anyway, we got these two guys. Now let's take a look at the machine. That's a big sucker. If anyone can tell me if the video is okay, you know, like the color profile, I would appreciate that. Video, audio, good. Okay. So here we go. Here is the Eletta Explore in all of its glory. However, slightly used because this is a warehouse deal. So there's a little bit of coffee powder on top. Again, I did clean this out, so that's why there's drops. This is the water reservoir, a totally normal one. Now it looks like they got finally markings here for doing the descaling. That's a nice thing. Let's have a look and see if the brew group is clean or not. Yeah, looks clean. So that's nice. Looks to me to be the standard Delonghi brew group there. I wonder how many millimeters that is. Let's see here. Yeah, looks like 40. It's about 42, 43 millimeters on the brew group there. Stuff that back inside. I am happy to see that it's pretty clean considering that it's used. A lot of times what happens with these warehouse deals is that people buy something and then they realize, oh crap, I don't actually have that money to buy it. I better send it back. They have buyer's remorse. So usually they're not really used at all. So that's the side of the machine. Let's show you the other side of the machine. That's that. You got some slits here to let heat escape. I'm guessing, I suppose before I fill it up with water, I could probably show what the grind chamber looks like. Hopefully you can see that. You got a bigger knob on this one. I'm used to smaller knobs on the top, and it looks like there's 0 to 7. And so there should be 13 or 14 settings on there because you have half clicks. And it's got, if you can see, it's got a stainless steel burr inside, like the others as well. All right, so what else to look at? This flips up, and that is pretty neat so that you can fit a travel mug in there. We'll take a look at that a little bit later. That's a nice feature. And then this is the drip tray here. So here's the puck container. A little bit of grounds in there from the previous user, but I don't really mind. I'm the kind of guy, if I can get something lightly used and save a bunch of money, why not? So there we go. Now let's just get this commissioned. I'm going to add some water here, turn the machine on, let it go through its cleaning cycle, and then we'll just make a couple of drinks because I only had one coffee so far this morning. So it's time for another. This machine is actually a little bit more popular than what I was expecting. I have people asking me about it in emails. Sometimes people email me from my website, or also in comments, people are asking about this Eletta Explore. So I thought, well, what the heck? I'm going to buy one and just test it out. All right, so got it plugged in. Here, the power button is on top. You could hear it priming the circuit before. Should have cleaned out the brew group. Works. Can we heat the glasses on top? Let's see. I don't know. We'll see if after some time if this gets hot or not. I do think that the thermal block is somewhere on this side, to be honest. But all right, that was cleaned once. I'd like to see if I can clean it again once. And I'm not sure if you can see this menu here. Hopefully you can see a little something. Just bear with me for a second while I search for any kind of cleaning options. You know what? I'm just going to run an empty shot. There's no beans in there yet. Okay. It says, please fill the bean container. Please fill the hopper and press OK. All right. It realized that there's no beans in there. I wanted it to just do an empty shot, but I'm going to put beans in. And I got these Lavazza here, Cremoso. These are, I found, the best supermarket beans that you can get in Europe. Because sometimes you find these just like 2 months old, which isn't too bad. And they're cheap. You can get them for sometimes €8, sometimes 10. The maximum you'll pay for these is like 15. So that's quite cheap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust this probably down to, let's say, between 2 and 3. And I'm going to pull a coffee. I'm not going to drink this one. I just want to get the machine commissioned. So here we go. No, doesn't look too bad, actually. Looks creamy anyhow. It's a relatively quiet machine, actually. All right, after this drink, I'm going to feel all right to go ahead and make another one and try the next one out. So let's just stop that. That's good enough. Let's make ourselves an espresso and see how that works out for us. All right, so I could go to hot drinks to kind of filter them. The first one is coffee, then latte macchiato, cappuccino. I'm going to do espresso. And I want to put the intensity all the way to the top to get the most, the largest grind amount. And I'm going to put the amount down to S for small. And let's just see what kind of ratio we get. All right, super ripen. Okay, so a ground for 7 seconds. These grinders normally do about 1.5 grams per second, so this should be right around a 10-gram shot. And right now it's going for about 20 seconds. But that includes the whole process. So actually it's coming out quite slow there. There's actually less of a ratio than I was expecting. That gave me 15 grams out, and I'm guessing the puck was right around 10 grams. So this is actually more of a Ristretto. I'm kind of surprised that it's able to stop at a Ristretto. I've never seen a Delonghi stop that early before. So that's kind of cool. Pretty intense flavor. Let's try with a slightly larger espresso. got myself another cup here. Actually, what I'm going to do is see if it will make a doppio. So, I'm going to go to hot. And cappuccino, espresso, cold. No, hot. You see it lights up, it illuminates there. So that's kind of nice. So you know which mode you're on. 2 times espresso. What is 2 times? Doppio. Doppio is what I want. Okay, so it already knows, I'm guessing, to grind twice the amount. And for the amount, it's got M right now. I'm just going to let it stay on M. We're going to time the grinder, see how long it grinds, and what our estimated ratio is. So let's go. Sometimes, by the way, if your scale is reading kind of wonky, it might be too close to the machine. If you have it abutting the machine like that, then the machine vibrates, and then it's not sitting where it should be. It needs to be sitting kind of isolated in order to get a good reading. So let's go. All right, that time it ground for about 8 seconds. And I'm used to the Dynamica Plus grinding for 10 seconds for the doppio. Maybe I just have to play with the settings a little bit more. Here it didn't let me switch the grinding amount, just the water amount here. And it does look like I might need to open the grind a little bit there. It's coming out quite slow, especially for Superautomatic. And you can tell it's also very quiet. So the pump is struggling a little bit, I think. I really ought to open up the grind, but we're just getting started here. Okay, so that's 35. I'm going to stop it, actually. I'm going to stop it there. It's at 40 grams, and I'm guessing the input was about 12. So if the input was 12 grams and we got, about 3 times that out, this is more of a lungo. Not bad. This one's too intense. This one is a little too weak. I would need to get somewhere in between. But we're just getting dialed in here. And, well, I think it would be fun next to do let's do a Caffe Crema. And don't worry, we're going to move on to the cold drinks here pretty quick. But I'm always curious to see how the Caffe Crema is. So I'm going to go again. Hot drinks, coffee intensity of 5. And I'm going to do, I like to have a lot of water. So I'm going to choose XL. And I'm thinking it will stop here. If it doesn't stop, then I'm going to stop it myself. I suppose in the meantime, see, it ground too much coffee that time. It ground too much coffee because it's making the Caffe Crema, and now it's really having a hard time. I did adjust the grind from 2.5 to 3.5. I opened it up a little bit, but I think I got to open it up a little further. But I am kind of happy to see that I can stall the machine if I want. And these beans are actually, they're about 2 months old. They're not the freshest ones. If I would put super fresh beans in here, I'd have to open it up even a bit more. But for me, it's a good sign to know it's able to pack enough coffee in there in its puck to kind of stall the pump. And we can adjust that as we need to. Yeah. That's going to take too long, so I'm going to abort that one. Let's just see how long it does grind, and I'm going to try that again. Now we got the grind open up to 3.5. Let's see if this one does better. Oh, empty. It says empty. Shoot, already. It says I got to empty the tray here. I suppose I could show you a puck. This is the last one here. So you can see it's a pretty well compacted puck there. It's quite fine. Otherwise, it wouldn't stay together like that. All right, I'm just going to pretend that I emptied it. Stick it back in. It's not like it has a scale inside or anything. All right. Now I'm going to try Caffe Crema again. And then we're going to move on to the cold drinks. Let's do it that way. So let's do that. High intensity. There we go. Dang, they ground for 14 seconds that time. 14 seconds means that's probably close to a 20-gram dose would be my guess. 18 to 20 grams. So that's why it's going to have a little bit of a tough time pushing through the puck there. But this time it's better because as you can see, it's running more smoothly out of there. I opened up the grind. Now I'm at 4 and I started at 2.5. So this is going to work out a little better. Could probably still open up the grind just a little bit more, but I'm going to keep it there for now and just let the machine kind of work into its setting. When you're making grinding adjustments, sometimes it takes a few pulls for it to fully realize the setting. But if you can see there, that's looking nice and creamy. I do like Caffe Crema a lot to start the morning. That's what I usually like to start with. See, there's quite a few people online. 49 people watching Tom at 1:50 a.m. Okay. I'm afraid that I can't read all the comments very well because I got my computer down there because I need all this space today. But yeah, that's looking like a pretty tasty coffee. We got 100 grams coming out. So if I wanted to do, let's see, if that was a 20 gram, I have to do 300. So if I want to do a 1:15 ratio, I'd have to pull 300 grams out of there or 300 milliliters. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to probably stop it here pretty quick and just give it a sip and see how it tastes. So we're at 115 milliliters now. I'm just going to let it go to 120 and stop it. All right, so I'm guessing that's somewhere around a 1:10 to 1:12 ratio. Oh yeah, that's a pretty smooth coffee, pretty tasty. Nice crema on top there. As you can see, I do like that because it adds that extra texture. The mouthfeel is nice when you've got that crema on there. Now, pretty good, pretty good. A little bit less intense than I was expecting at that kind of ratio. But also has to do with the bean, and I'm just getting dialed in here. So, all right, that's what we got going so far. Let's try a cold drink. Why not? I don't even know how that works, actually, because originally I think that the machines just started with brewing normally, but a shorter amount. Let's see what happens when I hit cold. Cold. What is it doing now? What is it doing? It's not letting me press anything. There we go. Now let me choose cold. Strangely, it's not letting me make a pre-selection, and I'm not sure why that's the case. But I'm going to choose, look at this, cold espresso. That's interesting. Let's try cold espresso and just see how it works out. It shows also a larger cup, so I'm gonna go get some ice cubes. Yeah, I'm gonna get some ice cubes, put them in a cup, and see how the cold espresso works out. Alrighty, back with some ice cubes. Let's just see what happens with our cold. Oh, what does this say? Cold. I want cold. Espresso. Cold. Caffe sorta. Huh. That's interesting. Mega M. I'm just going to press start. I don't know. Oh, how cold should it be? I don't know. Let's just choose ice. Further. Okay, put 6 ice cubes in there. I would say that's about 6. And go. So that ground there for about 6 seconds, 7 seconds. Now I was reading the comments, and in the comments, I think people said that that's still hot. I think people said that it brews then colder or for longer. Here it actually still is hot. So I think there is a difference apparently between an iced espresso. So it's just basically a hot espresso mixing with ice cubes compared to a cold brew. This does also do cold brew. I never totally understood the point, to be honest, of iced espresso or just putting hot liquid onto ice and melting it, because to me that's going to essentially water the drink down. But all right, that's what we got. I like to do these live videos in the morning, by the way, because I got all these drinks here. And if I would do this later in the day, there's no way I get any sleep. And I think it's kind of a fun experiment because I'm just getting to know the machine. So you guys can get to know it with me. Let's see if we can do a cold brew. And I'm not sure why it's not letting me just choose that to begin with. So let's just see if I can find it. Ah, look, there's a cold brew cappuccino. That sounds interesting. Cold brew latte. Kana cold brew. And hot water. I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to turn the machine off and turn it back on and see if I can get these pre-selections back. Oh. All right. Turn it back on. And the next thing I got to do is switch this from German to English. So let's go settings. Oh man, there's a lot of settings. Dang. Ah, here's language. English, better. Okay. Wow, all kinds of stuff here. The menu is actually pretty nice. It's way nicer than the Dynamica. You probably can't see it all that well. I'm going to make a full video about the machine, and I'm going to show all the settings, all the things on the display and stuff once I get used to it. But it's a nice color display. It's relatively responsive. It's not like super snappy, but it works pretty well. And you got statistics, drain water, default values, water hardness you got to put in. You can turn the beeping on, off. You can set the standby time and so on. So now let's see if now I can choose cold drinks. I must have gotten stuck somewhere in the menu. And sometimes that happens when you're programming. If you're in some kind of sequencer or Schrittkette, you got to always have a reset button. So sometimes the easiest thing to do is just unplug something, plug it back in, or turn it off, turn it on, and that initializes all the sequencers. So let's go ahead, and I want to try, cold brew. Cold brew size, medium, okay. Is that it? No other selections, okay. Let's see what happens with cold brew. I really don't know at this point. It might take a long time. All right, cold brew, start. So what is cold brew going to do? Oh, choose the intensity. Yeah, intense. Next. Okay, let's start with 4 DeLonghi ice cubes. These look to be about the same size as those little DeLonghi ice cubes. So let's put 4 of these guys in there. All right, next step, brew. For an optimal temperature, please start a quick rinse to cool me down a bit. Place a container under the spouts. Okay, interesting. So let's cool that sucker down once. What am I going to cool it down in? Maybe this will be enough. Start. That's interesting that it cools it down. I mean, it's still a little bit warmer than lukewarm. Okay. All right, so cold brew, finally. Let's go. Hopefully it's going to be the last step here. Yeah, brew. All done. Place a cup under the spouts and I'll make your drink. That ground for about 10 seconds there. So it's going to be a pretty good sized dose. Sounds different. As I was mentioning before, I was reading through the comments, and I think one person wrote that with cold brew, that it actually brews with cold water, and it brews more slowly. So you can hear it's just still kind of doing a pre-infusion. Oh, there it comes. There it comes a little bit. I really ought to have a temperature probe. I'll be right back. All right, I'm not sure what I did with my temperature probe at the moment. Let's see. Yeah, I would say it's lukewarm. If I had to guess, I'd say that's probably between 25 and 30 degrees Celsius. I'll probably do some measurements and add some more information to the video description and to the comment area about how hot it gets in the cold brew. So there, that took 4 minutes and 40 seconds, and I got 100 milliliters or 100 grams out. So cheers. I mean, in summertime, I think that these cold brew functions are going to be interesting. For me, so far, I've always just been a hot coffee kind of guy and more of an espresso kind of guy. But certainly in the summer, it's going to be interesting to just try out whatever cold drinks it has. I'll probably add a lot more ice to it and milk. So what I'd like to try next is to make a cold cappuccino. Let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. So for the cold cappuccino, we need to use this guy. So I'm going to fill this up with some milk. Always use fresh milk, by the way, not ultra pasteurized, because that just doesn't taste as good, doesn't froth as well either, in my experience. So I always use fresh. It costs more. And use high quality milk if you can. So again, I did clean this out. I cleaned this out before the video. That's important. I'm just going to stick that on there. All right. Press OK to start cleaning. Yeah, why not? Let's clean it out once. So we're going to clean that out, and we're going to do a cold brew cappuccino or cold espresso cappuccino. So I know the video is getting kind of long. Maybe that'll be the last drink we make. I don't know. Let's see. So I want to do cold, and I can do cold espresso. I can do a cold brew, a cold latte macchiato, cold cappuccino, cold brew mix, which is just doing the espresso and the espresso and the milk in a different order. Coffee latte, which is probably more milk. Coffee flat white. Cold brew cappuccino. Cold brew cappuccino. Okay, so that's going to be a longer shot, like what we just had there. No, I don't want a long shot. I want a shorter shot. So I'm going to do an iced cappuccino. Let's do that. And I'm going to flip this up once. All right, so let's parameterize that. Size. Yeah, we'll do a large size. Start. How cold do you want your drink? I don't know. Ice. Next. Let's add 8 ice cubes. That's probably 12. Brew. Turn the milk froth adjustment dial to a milk froth position. Okay, put that right in the middle. And brew. Cold froth tips. Use only skim milk or plant-based drinks or at refrigerator temperature. Yeah, okay. Well, it's not skim milk. This is fatty milk, but that's what I prefer. Oh, what happened there? It stopped. Cold cappuccino. I'm going to have to do it again. Start. How cold do I want it? Next. Brew. What do I have to press here? I've read it. You have to acknowledge that you've read their tip before we'll let you start. Oh, there it comes. Okay, I'm hoping that's hot again. Oh yeah, it's hot. That's quite hot. Because it seems to me that even if it's a cold brew or no, cold cappuccino, you still need a hot espresso shot in there. And since it's a short shot, it shouldn't melt the ice too much. Okay, so there's our tall and cold cappuccino. It's interesting. It's not super cold. Too bad I don't have a temperature probe for this video. But I mean, yeah, it's cold, but it's not like as if you would take milk out of the fridge. It's slightly warmer than that. It's somewhere between, I would say, fridge temperature and room temperature probably. But if you add more ice, you can make it colder, I'm sure. It does also give you the option if you want ice or extra ice. And if you fill this all the way to the top, I'm expecting it's going to be pretty cold. But I'm going to have to experiment with the cold drinks and just see which is my favorite. And I'll come back with a full review of this machine. I think I'm going to do one last thing and make a cappuccino in regular mode. So not the cold mode. But as you see here, you can fit a nice large cup. I have a Yeti, a big Yeti. I wanted to show that in the video, but I forgot it at the gym yesterday. So now what we have to do anyhow is clean this. So let's go to clean. Oh, please fill the tank with fresh water. Okay, so you gotta also fill the tank a little. Let's clean this guy out. Up to max level. What, that's not enough water? All right, I'm gonna have to fill it up with more water before I can progress. I'll be right back. Okay, so while we're waiting for that water to filter through there so I can add it, we can just do a short summary of the machine so far. We've made basically Ristretto, an espresso, a Caffe Crema, a cold espresso, an ice brew, and a cold cappuccino. That's interesting. Move these guys out of the way here. And I'd like to see just how the cappuccino is. My favorite drink really is a cappuccino. So I want to try that out once and see how it works. And for that, we're going to have to take this guy. This is the hot milk frothing attachment. And I really don't know why they have two of them. If anybody in the comments knows, let me know why that is. Just add some milk there. Yeah, get this all good to go. I'll move this over here. Yeah, and if any of you have this machine, what do you think about it so far? How do you like it? Do you use that cold drink function a lot? Because I feel like if you don't use the cold drink function, this doesn't really offer you any added value over the Dynamica Plus, which I think is a really sweet machine. It's my favorite Superautomatic that I've tested so far. I think that this one was going to perform as well as the Dynamica Plus and adds the cold drink functionality and this large tumbler. So this is kind of more, I think, for the people who want to say, goodbye, Starbucks. I'm going to save money, make my own drinks at home, have my travel cup with me that I can use here. So you can make a drink here maybe for 50 cents compared to going to Starbucks and spending $5 or $6 or $7 every day. So I think this machine really speaks more to that kind of crowd. For me, I don't go to Starbucks very often, so, and I'm not really a cold drinks person right now. Maybe when it gets to be hot, I will become one, but we'll see. I'm just going to test it out. Let's see if we can get the machine to work for us now. It is kind of surprising to me that they force you. I'll show you where the sensor is. They force you to fill up to here. If you can see, there's the sensor. You can see it floating. So you gotta fill it up to here before you can restart. All right. I want to clean this guy out. Please fill the tank. No, I just filled it. I'm gonna turn it off. I'm not sure how I would know if you filled it up all the way, or at least to where the sensor has been met. But thanks for sticking with me, by the way, this far into the video. I know it's kind of a long one, but this machine has like a million functions. And we're just kind of getting it commissioned here, so. And I'm going to read all the comments later. I'm curious what you guys are writing right now. Okay. That's about enough, Delonghi. Let me make a drink now. All right. I want to try a hot. I want to try a hot cappuccino. I want it to be really intense. You can choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to choose 5. Intensity, no, not pre-ground. Intensity 5, size, let's do size L. I wonder if it's going to recognize that I got the wrong attachment. Let's try that once. Brew, please insert the hot milk crap. Oh, it realizes I got the cold one in there. Okay. So we're going to insert the hot one. Put it about in the middle. And we need another glass. I should go get a clean glass. That's going to be the last drink. Just bear with me for one more second. It's a good thing the kitchen's not too far from the studio. By the way, if any of you guys would be so kind, if you're still watching, as to put the timestamps in a comment, like when I made an espresso, when I made a cold brew, when I made a cappuccino, that would be really nice because it's a long video and really should be cut down into segments. All right, so, I got to remake my selection. Intensity 5, I'm going to do size L. Brew, hot froth tips. For smooth hot froth, use plant-based. Milk. No, I don't want plant-based. All right, here we go. So I think it's going to do the milk first. Yeah, it's doing the milk first. And I know people are going to see that and say, well, that's not a cappuccino, that's a latte macchiato. And yeah, you would be right. A cappuccino is supposed to be espresso first and then milk on top. I don't know why Delonghi does it the opposite way, but hey, they're the Italians. Who am I to argue with them? They call what I would consider a cappuccino, they call that a cappuccino mix, where they do the espresso first and then the milk. And then they've got the latte macchiato and the flat white. So you got essentially 4 drinks, 4 milk-based drinks. They do pretty much the same thing But I think what they do tell you to do then is to adjust this knob here for either more froth or to have it a little bit more milky. That looks pretty good. I don't know if you can see it very well in the video, but that looks like a pretty nice espresso. I'm going to stop it though. That's a little bit too much at the end there. I think I got to dial the grind back down a little. You could see it came off quite fast. Well, let's just see how the texture is on the milk and how much that espresso was able to pierce through the milk taste. Pretty good. Nice milk texture. It's creamy. I'm surprised what the Dynamica Plus is able to do and what this one does. It's, in my memory, it's about the same. So it's just a really nice creamy milk. In the espresso, in this case, I think it's a little too hot. I can tell the drink is a little bit hotter than what I would prefer. And I think I need to dial the grind down a bit. And then the espresso is going to run a little bit slower. It's not going to be quite as hot. And I think the espresso taste will be a little bit more intense, have a little bit more depth to it. But yeah, all in all, for just starting the machine and making some drinks, pretty satisfied so far. So who is this machine for? I think we'll close with that question. I like to test these machines simply because I know so many people who love espresso, but they won't take the time to make the espresso. I've even got an Italian buddy at work, and he's got an E61 espresso machine at home. He's got a Dedica at home. He doesn't use them. He's got a DeLonghi Superautomatic because he says, oh, in the morning, I just want to press a button and get my coffee. And I know there's just a ton of people interested in this machine and in other Superautomatics. So that's kind of why I like to review these. Is it for me? To be honest, I like the Caffe Cremas a lot out of these. Also, I like the shorter espressos quite well. So for me, yeah, I would take something like this, but I probably would go more for like the Dynamica Plus. But if I'm being completely honest, I do prefer to do the preparation myself on a normal portafilter espresso machine, steam the milk myself. But I have time. I do home office a lot. And even when I don't do home office, I work in an engineering office, and we can, come into work when we want. So up to a certain point, of course. So with that being the case, I'll take time to make myself an espresso cappuccino in the morning. But this, if you have a fast-paced lifestyle, if you wake up, take a shower, gotta get yourself a drink, and gotta go, this is a good machine for that. Especially if you travel to work, if you commute in a car and you got your travel mug, you can flip that up. You got an extra probably 1.5 inches there, so you can fit your tumbler. And yeah, for the convenience sake, and it does make quite good drinks for a Superautomatic. This and the Dynamica Plus, I'm quite impressed with what they are able to do, especially compared to just like 5 years ago, 8 years ago. Superautomatics were not very good, in my opinion. So yeah, if that's the kind of person you are, I certainly think that's an interesting machine to take a look at. And, do what I did. Have a look on the warehouse deals. You might just find a machine like this. It's in good shape. It's even still got some film on it. It's hardly been used. Honestly, it does have a little like what do you call mini scratches on top, micro scratches, but I don't really care. It's a coffee machine. It's going to get some scratches, and they're just minor. So all in all, pretty cool. And that's it. I'm going to experiment with the machine, come back with a full review video for you guys. I hope that you liked this one. If so, give it a like. If you thought it sucked, you can give it a dislike. Whatever the case, thanks so much for being with me for this live video that is super duper long. And until next time, I say happy coffee drinking, happy espresso drinking, arrivederci, fiat euch, and bye now. 55 minutes. And